First contact and discovery. The exploration vessel Artemis glided silently through the void, its massive ion engines pulsing with blue energy as it carried humanity's hopes into the unknown. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck, watching distant stars glimmer against the black canvas of space. After 2 centuries of tentative steps beyond their solar system, humans were finally venturing deeper into the galaxy. "Commander, we're picking up unusual radiation signatures ahead," reported Lieutenant Kai Williams, the ship's sensor specialist. His dark eyes remained fixed on the holographic display floating before him. Sarah turned from the viewport. "Natural phenomenon." "No, Mom. The patterns are too regular, too precise. I believe they're artificial." A surge of excitement rushed through the bridge crew. First contact protocol had been established decades ago, but never implemented. Until now. "Alert all section chiefs," Sarah ordered. "Begin first contact preparations. This is not a drill." Within 30 minutes, the Artemis Command Center buzzed with activity. Dr. Eliza Okafor, the xenobiologist, reviewed potential biological compatibility issues. Security Chief Victor Rice prepared contingency plans while Communications Officer Maya Patel worked to decode the strange signal patterns. "I think I've got something," Maya announced. "It's definitely a communication protocol, complex, but with recognizable mathematical sequences." "Can we respond?" asked Sarah. "I believe so. The computer has established a rudimentary translation matrix." Sarah nodded. "Open channel." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing beings unlike anything humans had imagined. They had translucent blue-green skin stretched over elongated frames, with large, multifaceted eyes that shimmered like opals. 3 slender arms emerged from each torso, ending in 7-fingered hands. "We are the collective of synchronized minds," came the translated voice, smooth and melodic. "Identify yourselves and your purpose in this sector." Sarah stepped forward. "I am Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth vessel Artemis. We are explorers, seeking peaceful contact with other intelligent species." The aliens stared silently for several seconds. Their expressions shifted in unison, displaying what Sarah interpreted as confusion, or perhaps alarm. "Your minds," the alien leader finally said. "They are discontinuous, fragmented. How is this possible?" Dr. Okafor moved beside Sarah. "We don't understand. Our minds function normally for our species." The aliens conferred among themselves, their movements perfectly synchronized. When they turned back to the screen, their demeanor had changed subtly. "You possess the void echo," the leader stated. "The ability to conceal thoughts, to create silence where consciousness should flow freely." "We're not concealing anything," Sarah insisted, sensing the growing tension. "This is simply how human minds work." "Impossible. All sentient species share the mind stream, the continuous flow of consciousness that binds all thinking beings. Yet you appear and disappear from the mind stream at will." Victor leaned closer to Sarah. "Commander, I don't like this. They seem frightened of us." The alien leader's eyes pulsed with light. "We must consult the collective assembly. Please maintain your position and take no action." The screen went dark. "What just happened?" Sarah asked, turning to her officers. Eliza frowned. "It sounds like they're telepathic. They can sense each other's thoughts. And for some reason, our human minds don't fit their understanding of consciousness." "Incoming transmission," Maya announced. "Different frequency, different source." A new alien appeared on screen, this one with mottled red skin and a more humanoid appearance. "Humans of the Artemis, I am Vexlor, Intelligence Officer of the Outer Rim Sentinel. You must leave immediately. The collective has classified you as void bearers." "What does that mean?" Sarah demanded. "Your minds create dark spaces in the mind stream, moments where your thoughts cannot be perceived. This terrifies them. In the collective's history, only one other species has possessed this trait, the Shroud Dominion, who nearly destroyed the collective 10,000 cycles ago. "We're not a threat," Sarah insisted. "We just want peaceful contact." "It's too late," Vexlor warned. "They've already designated you as Dark Thunder Carriers, beings whose thoughts crash through the mind stream like devastating storms. The purification fleet has been summoned." Alarms suddenly blared across the bridge. "Multiple vessels approaching," Kai shouted. "Energy signatures indicate weapons charging." "Shields up," Sarah ordered. "All hands to emergency stations." The first energy blast struck before the shields fully engage. The Artemis rocked violently, throwing crew members to the floor as conduits exploded in showers of sparks. "Hull breach on Deck 4, reported the damage control officer. Life support failing in sections 12 through 20. "Return fire?" Victor asked, hands poised over the weapons controls. Sarah hesitated. They had come as explorers, not warriors. "Defensive measures only. Target their weapons systems, not life support." The Artemis fought valiantly, but it was hopelessly outmatched. 3 more devastating hits crippled the propulsion system and secondary power grid. "Commander, we can't take much more," Victor warned as another blast shook the ship. Sarah made the hardest decision of her career. Abandon ship. All personnel to emergency vessels. Take what research data you can. Earth needs to know what we've discovered. As crew members raced through smoke-filled corridors, Sarah grabbed Eliza's arm. "Why are they so afraid of us?" "Our minds," Eliza replied, dodging a falling support beam. "They called it the Void Echo, something about how our consciousness works. We're unpredictable to them because they can't constantly read our thoughts." They reached the escape pod bay just as another explosion rocked the ship. Only 12 pods remained functional, not nearly enough for the entire crew. "Women and children first," Victor suggested grimly. "No," Sarah countered. "We need a mix of expertise, science, medical, tactical. Earth needs to understand what happened here." With heartbreaking efficiency, they selected who would escape and who would remain behind. Sarah insisted on staying until the last pod was ready to launch. "Commander, you need to go," Victor said, manually overriding a damaged launch mechanism. "The captain goes down with the ship," she replied. "With respect, ma'am. Earth needs leaders who understand this threat. I'll finish here." After a moment's hesitation, Sarah nodded. The final pods launched just as the Artemis reactor core reached critical levels. From her viewport, Sarah watched the magnificent vessel, humanity's pride and greatest achievement, erupt in a blinding flash of light. As the small cluster of escape pods activated their stealth systems and scattered into the darkness, Sarah swore that humanity would not fade quietly into the night. If these aliens feared human minds, they would learn exactly what those minds were capable of when threatened. The Dark Thunder had only just begun to echo through the galaxy. The Ghost Protocol. 3 weeks after the destruction of the Artemis, Sarah Chen's escape pod drifted in the shadow of a barren moon. Inside the cramped vessel, 5 survivors subsisted on dwindling rations and recycled water. Dr. Eliza Okafor worked tirelessly at a makeshift laboratory station she'd assembled from salvaged equipment. "Any progress?" Sarah asked, floating over to the scientist. Eliza gestured at her neural scanner. "I've been studying our brain patterns compared to what little data we gathered on the collective. It's fascinating. Their neural architecture is fundamentally different, designed for constant consciousness sharing. And humans, our minds naturally shift between different states: focus, daydreaming, subconscious processing. We're constantly moving between mental states without realizing it." Eliza pointed to a jagged waveform on her screen. "These transitions create what they called void points, moments where our thoughts become temporarily undetectable to telepathic species." Lieutenant Maya Patel joined them, her communications headset still in place. "I've been monitoring collective transmissions. They're calling us Dark Thunder because our thoughts appear and disappear unpredictably in their mind stream. like lightning strikes that come from nowhere. They're afraid of what they can't see, Victor remarked from the pilot's seat. Typical. Kai looked up from his sensor array. Commander, there's something else. When I review the sensor logs from the attack, there were moments when the collective weapons lost lock on us. Specifically when Dr. Okafor was running neural stimulation tests on volunteer crew members. Eliza's eyes widened. Of course. The meditation exercise I was conducting. It creates a specific brain state that might have enhanced our natural void points. Sarah leaned forward. Are you saying we could potentially make ourselves invisible to their perception? Theoretically, yes. If we could intentionally enter these mental states, we might appear to vanish from their awareness. A ghost protocol, Victor murmured. But where does that get us? Maya asked. We're still stuck in an escape pod with dwindling supplies, billions of miles from Earth. Kai cleared his throat. Actually, I've detected an outpost about 2 days from our position at maximum thrust. It appears to be a trading hub. Multiple species, not just collective. Any collective presence? Sarah asked. Some, but not dominant. It's called Nexus Station. Sarah considered their options. Earth needed to be warned about the collective and their fear of humans. Moreover, they needed to understand this void echo ability that had inadvertently made humanity a target. Here's what we'll do, she decided. Dr. Okafor will train us all in techniques to maximize our void points. We'll approach Nexus Station, infiltrate it using our ghost protocol, and find a way to send a warning to Earth. For the next 2 days, they practiced Eliza's mental techniques, exercises that involved focused meditation, controlled breathing, and specific thought patterns that created the strongest void points in human consciousness. Think of it as mental camouflage, Eliza explained. Not invisibility, but making your thoughts blend into the background noise of the mind stream. When they finally approached Nexus Station, Sarah was struck by its chaotic beauty. Unlike the elegant, crystalline structures of the collective vessels, Nexus was a sprawling amalgamation of different architectural styles, a testament to the diverse species that used it as a trading post. Multiple collective vessels docked, Kai reported, including what appears to be a military courier. Perfect, Sarah said. If we can access their communications array, we might be able to intercept military transmissions. They docked at a remote port, using falsified credentials Victor had created. Before leaving the pod, they performed Eliza's meditation ritual one final time. Remember, she cautioned, maintain the void state. Picture a still pond in your mind, no ripples, no disturbances. They moved through the station in pairs. Sarah and Eliza headed for the central information hub, while Victor and Maya sought out the communications center. Kai remained with the pod, monitoring station security. The diverse alien life forms they encountered paid them little attention. Most species in this part of the galaxy had never seen humans before. The real test came when they encountered their first collective member, a tall, blue-skinned officer moving deliberately through the corridor. Sarah maintained her focus, visualizing the still pond as Eliza had taught them. The collective alien walked past without a glance, its multifaceted eyes showing no recognition. It worked, Sarah whispered once they were alone. At the information hub, they discovered something worse than they had imagined. The collective assembly had declared humans as Class 1 Void Bearers, a designation shared only with the mysterious Shroud Dominion that had nearly destroyed the collective millennia ago. They're assembling a purification fleet, Eliza said, scrolling through the data. Hundreds of warships set to depart for Earth in 15 days. Meanwhile, Victor and Maya had reached the communications center. Using Eliza's techniques, they slipped past collective technicians and accessed a quantum entanglement transmitter, technology far beyond Earth's capabilities. If we can reconfigure this, Maya said, we could potentially send a compressed data burst to the long-range relay near Saturn. From there, Earth's defense systems would pick it up. They worked quickly, uploading everything they had learned about the collective, their telepathic abilities, and most importantly, the void points that made humans so feared and potentially so dangerous. Transmission complete. Maya confirmed. Earth will receive it within hours. As they regrouped at the pod, an alarm sounded throughout the station. Void presence detected, announced an automated system in multiple languages. Security protocol activated. They've detected us, Victor said, checking his weapon. The ghost protocol isn't perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect, Sarah replied. It just needed to work long enough. They fought their way back to the escape pod, using their understanding of void points tactically now, appearing and disappearing from the collective's awareness, creating confusion and fear among their pursuers. As they launched from Nexus Station, pursued by security vessels, Sarah allowed herself a moment of hope. Earth now had warning, and more importantly, understood the unexpected advantage humans possessed against this telepathic enemy. The very trait that had made them targets could become their greatest weapon. Set course for Earth, she ordered. Maximum speed. It will take months at our velocity, Kai warned. The purification fleet will arrive long before us. Then we'll find another way, Sarah insisted. The collective fears what they don't understand about us. It's time they learned exactly why human unpredictability is something to fear. As their tiny vessel accelerated away from Nexus Station, Sarah thought about humanity's long history of turning disadvantages into strengths. The collective had named humans Dark Thunder out of fear, not understanding that storms bring not only destruction, but also growth and renewal. The void points in human consciousness weren't flaws. They were evolutionary advantages that had allowed humans to think creatively, to imagine possibilities beyond their immediate experience, to innovate and adapt in ways a hive mind never could. The coming conflict would not be fought with weapons alone, but with the unique power of the human mind, unpredictable, ingenious, and now intentionally ghost-like. The dark thunder would echo across the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same.